Happy New Year! Everybody! Yeah, so this is my first review of 2018, even though it's for a movie from 2017. And the reason behind that is because I've been trying to see this movie for a little while now, but there's been all sorts of things that have been just preventing me from going, so I finally went and saw it today. So Coco is the latest film from Pixar Animation, who, of course you know who they are: Toy Story, A Bug's Life, The Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Dory, all those fishy things, and a whole ton of other awesome movies. And these guys are known for doing movies that not only the kids will appreciate, but adults can get behind as well, and that tug the heartstrings emotionally. So this story is about a young Mexican boy named Miguel. Now, Miguel is obsessed with becoming a musician. He idolizes his great-great-grandfather, Ernesto de la Cruz, and he dreams of someday becoming a mariachi. The only thing that's stopping him is an unfortunate event that happened in his family history whereby the whole family basically resent music. So they've abolished music from their culture and they're doing everything they can to stop Miguel from pursuing his dream. Until one day when Miguel gets transported to the land of the dead and he gets to meet his ancestors and basically goes on a quest to gain his great-great-grandfather's blessing to become a musician. That's kind of a nutshell version of the story. There is a lot more to this film, really. And this movie is so fantastically good. You know, I've been holding off doing my top 10 movies of 2017 because I honestly thought this movie would find its place somewhere in there, and oh my god, will it ever. For starters, visually, this movie is jaw-dropping. It is stunning to look at. Not just the visuals, but the animation. I mean, Pixar just keep lifting their game with every movie they do, and this one, you just, you know, it's just hard to believe that it is a CG movie. I love the way that they do kind of stylized people. You know, people that don't quite look like normal human beings, but at the same time, your brain believes that everything that's going on is real. The voice acting was absolutely fantastic. No idea who was in it. I looked up on the IMDb cast list, and I think Benjamin Bratt was the only person who I'd heard of. I don't really know who else was in it, but good job, you guys! And the music in this film was absolutely wonderful. Not just the songs, but the score by Michael Giacchino just hit all the right emotional beats and just really enhanced the emotion of the story. And the songs were used in a really good way. Like, they weren't kind of like Frozen where, you know, people just burst down into the song for no real reason, but they were actually used as part of the story, and yeah, they were fantastically done. But, you know, with every Pixar film, what it comes down to is the story, and this movie's story was so warm and uplifting and heartwarming, and you know, I mean, like I said, you expect that from a Pixar film, but I loved as well that this movie had a few surprises along the way. There were a few little twists and turns in the story that I didn't really see coming, and I thought that was really great. And I loved all the themes that this film explored. Themes of love and connection, and obviously family was a huge aspect of the story, and also, you know, it was a wonderful celebration of music, but you know, it was also this reminder of remembering our loved ones and, you know, in that way keeping them alive. I mean, I hate to bring the mood down and get personal in this review, but very recently there was a friend of mine who I'd known for quite some time who passed away, and I wrote a letter to be read at her funeral, and in the letter I said something about how if you remember someone who's passed, then they'll live on forever. And so this movie explored that, and you know, for me it really touched me in a personal way. And it was also a loving tribute to Mexican culture as well. You know, there were so many things like the Day of the Dead festival that, you know, I kind of knew a little bit about, but not too much. And just all the visuals and the way that they celebrate their past relatives and things like that. I thought, well, yeah, really well done. And yes, this is yet another Pixar film that is guaranteed to make you weep. In about the last 10 minutes of the film, yeah, I'm just hearing sniffles all around me and stuff, and yeah, guilty. And to all the mums and dads out there, if you've got a kid who comes to you one day and says something along the lines of, "Mummy, what happens to us when we die?" and you have no idea how to answer that question, show them this movie, because this movie is a great way of giving kids a comforting way of accepting loss of loved ones and helping to overcome grief, because the way that the land of the dead was explored in this movie, or portrayed I should say, it was absolutely wonderful. And you know, whether or not that's your belief is entirely up to you, but yeah, I just think this movie is going to be a really great way to help kids with accepting the death of loved ones and family members. So as much as I loved Coco, look, yeah, the flaws in this movie were so minor. I think, you know, one of the things for me was that there were a couple of moments in the film, particularly towards the end, that were a little bit predictable. And even though the story was a unique story written specifically for this film, there were just parts of it that felt a bit familiar, I guess. But that's only a really minor criticism, because the story was wonderful. And the only other thing, now look, I know, I may get some hate for this, but this was just a really minor thing for me as well. Now, you know, you've seen in the trailer how Miguel picks up the guitar and all of a sudden he becomes part of the land of the dead, you know, the spirit world. It's never really explained why that happens. And again, I know this is just like a minor little nitpick, and it didn't let the movie down for me in any sort of way. It wasn't until maybe half an hour after I'd seen it that I was kind of like, how did he actually do that? But I would have just liked a little bit of an explanation there. But again, minor criticism. Look, overall, this was such a wonderful, wonderful movie. I'm really glad that I held off before doing my top 10 list of 2017, because you're gonna see it on there. And I'm gonna give Coco a 9.5 out of 10. Now, being that I kind of saw this movie a little bit late, I'm assuming that everybody has seen this movie by now, so over to you guys. What did you think of this movie? Did you love it as much as I did? I mean, it's kind of hard not to, isn't it? And stay tuned, because very soon, actually probably the next 2 videos you'll see on my channel will be my best and worst list of 2017, which I'm really looking forward to do, because man, there were some really great movies, well, last year I guess I should say now, but wow, there was some crap as well. So let me know what you thought of Coco. Drop me some comments either here or on Facebook. All the social media links are in the description below, because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.